Ja'Marr Chase was suspended 1 game without pay after league investigators concluded he spat on Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback Jalen Ramsey during Sunday's game, a decision the NFL announced Monday and then upheld after Chase appealed. The suspension means Chase will miss Cincinnati's Week 12 matchup against the New England Patriots, and it snaps what had been a quiet stretch of non-suspensions for on-field incidents this season. Here's what matters. Video evidence and eyewitness accounts led the league to find that Chase committed unsportsmanlike conduct. Ramsey shoved back with a punch after he said Chase spat on him. Ramsey was ejected on the spot while Chase stayed in the game because officials on the field missed the spitting. That gap, what was seen on camera versus what the officials saw live, is the awkward center of this whole story. The referees didn't eject Chase because, by their account, they did not see anything that rose to that level. The league later reviewed game footage. The NFL's investigative process determined a suspension was warranted, and an appeals panel declined to overturn it. There are a handful of practical takeaways. First, the NFL is signaling that spitting is a line it won't tolerate, regardless of whether the referees catch it in real time. That consistency matters. Last season's Jalen Carter ejection and fine established a precedent that spitting can bring both in-game ejections and post-game discipline. Chase's case is different because he stayed in the contest initially, but the outcome is the same. The league will step in after the fact to enforce standards it thinks were violated. Second, the optics and competitive fallout are immediate. Chase is one of the Bengals' best playmakers. Missing him for a game hurts Cincinnati's offense, especially against a Patriots team that's defensive-minded and disciplined. The suspension also adds fuel to a narrative about emotional control and professionalism. Chase denied the act publicly, saying he didn't spit on nobody, and he's exercising his right to appeal, a necessary step even when appeals rarely reverse the league's original call. Third, the incident exposes 2 fault lines that keep getting highlighted in NFL coverage: replay versus on-field officiating, and punishment parity. On-field officials are limited by angles, distance, and situational focus. They miss things, which is why the NFL's after-the-fact discipline exists. But that reactive model creates messy moments. Ramsey was ejected in-game without the full context that later video provided, and Chase remained unejected only to lose a game later. Players and fans see inconsistency, and the league sees a need to be both authoritative and even-handed. Expect the NFL to lean on clearer messaging and likely to point to its camera systems the next time similar incidents pop up. From a team room perspective, the Bengals now must adapt. The Patriots game becomes an opportunity for another receiver to step up and for the coaching staff to rework game plans that otherwise would be predicated on getting Chase's dynamic threat in space. It's also a leadership moment for Cincinnati. How the team responds, whether with discipline internally, a public statement, or a refocus on fundamentals, will matter in the short run. For Ramsey and the Steelers, the episode drew attention to emotional responses on the field. Ramsey said he felt disrespected and reacted. He'll face questions about whether physical retaliation is ever justified. The league's message is clear. Spitting is a grave offense, and retaliatory punches create chaos that officials must police. The NFL has little patience for either behavior. If you're trying to read the long game, this episode nudges the NFL closer to a stricter culture around interpersonal conduct, particularly in an era when camera coverage is nearly omniscient. Players should assume nearly every interaction can be reviewed later. Coaches and general managers should plan for short-term roster disruptions, and fans should expect the league to continue to retroactively police what the refs might miss live. Bottom line, the spitting and punching exchange cost the Bengals their star for 1 game and handed the NFL another chance to reinforce a zero-tolerance stance on certain kinds of misconduct. Whether that restores a sense of order or simply exposes more questions about in-game officiating remains to be seen. But this is definitely not the last time we'll be debating how the league balances real-time authority with post-game accountability.